Hello demons, it's your girl Lucy, and today we are doing some world building because I feel like I have a lot of characters for my story, and they kind of need somewhere to be, so they're not just in a void. So I wanted to get that figured out. So I'm going to tell you about my world building while I make a map. So let's get into that. Okay, so I've never actually made a map before, so we're gonna see how this goes. When I started out, I really was doing a lot of realistic colors, and it looked like it could be an actual place. And then I hated it. What you're watching right now is not what I ended on because I hate it. Well, okay, I don't hate the outline. I kept the outline of the continents or whatever that are going to be on this map, but oh my god, I made it so realistic. It looks like it could be a real map. I did not appreciate that. This is a fantasy world. I want my world to be cartoony and fantastical, and it doesn't look like that. Like, please stop. So yeah, after hours of work, I decided to completely restart because this is ugly and it looks like something in our world, and I do not want that. Okay, so now let's try this again. This time I really tried to focus on allowing myself to have fun and like add a bunch of colors and fantasy things that I wanted to have in this world, make it more cartoony and just more interesting. It's not supposed to be real. I ended up liking this a lot more, and I also really considered where things in my world would be relative to each other, like where I actually wanted stuff to be and how they would travel to different places and what they would have to go through. It really helped me to visualize my world because I knew things I wanted in it. I knew characters. I knew generally what I wanted it to be. But having a map out like this and getting to see it in front of me really, really helped. I didn't do this for previous stories that I've worked on, and oh my god, I would recommend it. It really just helped cement what I wanted my world to look like and made it feel much more real, even though I just said I didn't want it being real. But you get what I'm saying, okay? One of the first places I started working on was called Gold Sky. Or that's what I named it. These names might be bad, but I really did try and make them like cartoonies, and like it's very obvious what each place is. It like the name has the vibe of the place, and it's supposed to be cartoon names like that. Okay, let's just not judge my names. I've already expressed how much I struggle with these guys. Anyway, the first place I started coloring was Gold Sky, and this is like kind of like the capital of the world of everything. It's a bustling city with a huge population, and it attracts creatures from all around the world because it has the best education and opportunities. It is known for having heroes to protect it. That's where most of the most well-renowned heroes reside. And it has the best hero school like ever, and the people go there from all around to learn how to like harness their magic and use it for good. Also, it is run by a government of like older heroes or even retired heroes that decide what is best for Gold Sky. And the overall culture. Oh, I just broke my stylus. I'm sorry, I was messing with my stylus and I kind of just broke the pen thing off. Anyway, back to Gold Sky. The overall culture around it is it's a lot of pressure to conform into like this perfect mold. And that is what causes a lot of people to become villains, because the heroes that run it very much push these ideas of kindness, but also perfection, and it's like hope, which is good in a way. They're really trying to be kind, give people hope, make a good society, make it like utopia. But what they don't realize is that nobody is perfect, and they really have one definition of what a good person is, and that's what everybody believes. And this can be really, really harmful for people that are just different, that struggle, that go through mental health struggles, that like because that just show their flaws and can't hide it as well, and can't hide their true selves as well as other people can, or fit into what the city and the heroes want, which leads to a lot of pressure and a lot of building resentment, which is what causes them to leave. But overall, it is a very good and rich city that is basically where everyone wants to live. Like I said, it's the capital, and I really imagine it having like the most high-tech, best education, best opportunities. This is where you want to build your life, but there is a lot of flaws in the culture surrounding it and how people actually think there, which can cause people to have mental health struggles and some bad things. They create a lot of their own problems and their own villains, okay? But yeah, basically they were successfully able to weed out all things that they saw as evil, and they were just trying to grow a perfect society. And I feel like that never goes well. But they're trying their best, okay? Another region that really shows the flaws of Gold Sky and like how it's not as perfect as everyone thinks it is something called the Blackbloods Playground. Now, in this society, I imagine that people that are seen as evil would be labeled Blackbloods or said to be like black-blooded or something like that to show that they are not pure, that they are irredeemably bad. They're bad people. And getting labeled as that is really bad because that spreads fast, and those people will be ostracized from society and basically forced out for something that could have been a mistake that they regret, or just being different, being too blunt, being too honest. And this can lead to bad things. And what happened was the villains, the like truly terrible people that are actually bad, prey on people like this because they see them as vulnerable, and it's very easy to wrap them into their villainy themes or whatever and get them to turn on these heroes, which is what the villains want, because that grows their following, it grows their power. But it was really hard to do that in Gold Sky because there's heroes everywhere. There's a huge culture of being good. It was very hard to convince people to join them when they're surrounded by people like that and the societal pressures. So what happened was big villains started moving to an island across from Gold Sky that was less populated, and they started building their stuff over there because it was less heavily watched. And then they basically this has no rules now. There is no rules or laws over there because the villains were able to pretty easily take it over and force everyone else out. And now anybody that feels like they don't fit in with the Gold Sky or any other society, they go there because that is where they feel like they will be accepted. It's not. It's usually like a death sentence. It's not a great idea. Okay, I wouldn't recommend traveling here. But yeah, that is referred to as the Blackbloods Playground because it is where they are able to do whatever they want, and it is led by a bunch of villains. There, like I said, there is no laws. There is a ton of crime because there is just crime lords, supervillains, gangs. All of them go there to be able to do the evil things that they want because there is no repercussions for it there. And they are able to build their plans, work against the heroes. At the beginning, the heroes would have tried to intervene with this, but it eventually, like, it grew so much and it became so dangerous that they had to ban all heroes and all citizens from traveling there because it was just way too dangerous. And now the only people that go there are villains or people looking to join, which I wouldn't recommend it. It's not the best there. It is led by some of the most powerful villains ever, and a lot of people there work for them. And yeah, it's just overall a very dangerous place filled with very terrible people. But there are also children that were born there that can't help it. People that really just need a way to get out of this terrible life. Not all of them are bad. Just most of them. I was inspired by the Isle of the Lost from Descendants. Okay, we love Descendants, except this is a less Disney, much worse version of that. This is also where Nico would have been raised and where Damien would live, and he would have all the power, most of the power there. He would be a very big figure. And that is where Blair and... I still don't have a name for the Gremlin. I swear to God, next video I will have a name for her. That is where our main trio of villains would reside while they're not fighting heroes in Gold Sky or doing things for other villains. Okay, the next place I want to talk about is Elkwood, because there are other societies that don't fit into this very, like, this is good, this is bad, and obviously there's more nuance to Blackblood's Playground and Gold Sky, but there are other societies that are a bit more neutral, but honestly, Blackblood's Playground doesn't have as many friends, doesn't have as many allies, but, you know. So, anyway, Elkwood, it is next to Gold Sky, and it is separated from by mountains, so it has mountains on all sides of it, and is basically a large pine forest. It is filled with many different, like, small towns. It might have suburbs, and it's honestly just a really relaxing and calm place, very different from what we just talked about. There's a lot of wildlife there. I can see the locals giving tours to visitors and, like, helping them with sightseeing to see all the native wildlife and animals and creatures that live there. It's overall just very serene, very mountain landscape, cool weather, pine forest, small towns. A great place to just live a relaxing life away from all of the chaos of Gold Sky and the Black Bloods. And yeah, that's what most people do there. They're pretty relaxed over in Elkwood. That's all I have for that. It's pretty hard to get to, actually. That's the thing. It's very well protected from most outside forces due to the mountains on both sides. And it's just a great place. I would go there to like retire, take a relaxing vacation, be surrounded by nice woods. We are now again talking about Frostclaw Tundra, and the reason I say again is because I totally forgot to click record microphone when I was screen recording, because I'm looking at the map right now as I speak, and it didn't record anything that I said. It also didn't record what I said for the next one, which I talked about Embercrest Isle. So we're going over all of that again. Anyway, Frostclaw Tundra, much less friendly than Elkwood, much less calm and serene. It's a very, very harsh environment. Freezing cold, very strong winds, mountains, snow, all of that. And there are very few species that are able to survive here, but the ones that are very strong. Like, you wouldn't want to go against them, and they've had some truly remarkable adaptations that they need to survive, and I think they will also be very interesting to get to design. There are people that live here, but they have a very bad reputation because there are these people, not people, because there is no real people in this world, but humanoid beings that live here and have a society here. They are known they have a reputation for being very dangerous, and people are scared of them because they are able to contact spirits. And that is something that no other nation has been able to figure out, because it uses very difficult and ancient magic, and it requires you to be very connected with magic people to communicate with spirits. And that's one of the things that help them to survive, because the spirits are helpful. They're already dead. They can't die. They can go and make sure that everything's okay so that these new people don't die. Also, there is a lot of cats that live here. A lot of snowy fantasy cats that live here, and these people are very close with them. They often live together, actually, and they usually mimic cats' behaviors and can even wear like cat's fur and things that look like cat ears to really just try and fit in with them. They're very, very close. They think cats are one of the most valuable animals and really value them and live alongside them and see them as equal. So that's cool. I mean, I love cats. I'm excited to design these cats. But overall, the society, or other societies, are a bit wary of them just because their ability to connect with spirits, their ability to live in such a harsh environment, and so much is unknown about them because they really don't contact outside societies much. But despite this, they actually have a really good relationship with most people. Not many nations have any problems with them, and they're actually very loyal and are useful in a fight. Like, they will remember people that have helped them in the past, even if it was centuries ago, and they will pay back that debt. So they are very loyal and very useful allies. But yeah, kind of scary to the average person. And that's basically them. Also, there are a lot of ancient ruins from very old societies that are left here, and there's a lot to be discovered within the snow, a lot of artifacts and things that are left again from these ancient societies that were likely killed off when the weather got harsher and harsher, but they really haven't been explored or discovered much because people just cannot figure out how to get through such a harsh environment or properly explore it, even though there's a lot to be discovered in this place. So they have tried to do that. It didn't work so well, really. There's only a very few select species that are able to survive here. And so there is a lot to be discovered that I think would be fun to explore, like what exactly would be in this snowy desert. So I'm excited for that. Anyways, next is the Embercrest Isle. This island is basically made up of volcanoes and lava, and it also has many large crystals that are actually able to hold magic. They're very useful for that. Magic can, I imagine, be tied with a specific object and be held there, but also these crystals are just they naturally hold magic and be very powerful at times, depending on what crystal it is. This island, I imagine, can be very dangerous. I see it as there's many dragons that live there, and I think it would be sort of dragon breeding ground. There's a lot of unique and rare species of dragon that gather there, making it very dangerous. Also, the fact that it is just covered in volcanoes and lava makes it very dangerous to traverse. But Gold Sky does use it as forest resources because I imagine they can get coal and oil and things like that from there that can power their homes, as well as the powerful crystals, as I mentioned before, would be very useful for powering their city, I imagine. Another thing, there is a bunch of tunnels under this island that I think many people would try and go explore because there are very, very valuable gemstones under there. But it's very complicated, and it's said that only dragons can figure this out, and they have, like, the map in their head, which I think would have something to do with the magnitude to the poles. I know some birds can do that, on Earth. So I think the dragons would, and that's how the ability to do that, which is how they would know where to go in the tunnels. But any humanoid thing or other species that tries to figure that out, it doesn't go very well. There's been many attempts, and there's been many people lost to these tunnels, never to be seen again. So that's great. I am very excited to draw something here because I can just imagine these gorgeous crystals and like crystal waters, and like I think it would be so pretty, and with the dragons in the background. So that makes me excited. So there's not many like societies and like villages or actual towns that are here. It is mainly used as a place for resources for Gold Sky to power their city. That's what that's for. Okay, I know a lot of my furries are gonna like this one. There is this place called Wildheart Vera, which is an island down south of Gold Sky, and it is filled with jungles. It's a huge jungly island, and it is populated by a bunch of different anthropomorphic animals and their societies that live here. They're pretty friendly. I mean, I don't have that much to say on this island. It's basically just a furry island where all the furries live. Well, furries live other places on this world. They move out. This is just where most of them are native to, in this jungly area, and they spread out to like move to Gold Sky and pursue their own things. I needed a furry place because I want to be able to draw furries and put in furry characters. Okay. So yeah, that's Wildheart Vera. There are many furries there. That is where they live, and that is where they come from. This next place I actually really like. It's called Gravebloom Forest. It is a very ancient and magical forest filled with many different kinds of animals that literally cannot be found anywhere else. They only exist here because of the unique magical qualities that are here. It's filled with magic. Very much enchanted forest vibes. And it's like one of the only places that is just completely has no humanoid things living there or that can like colonize it. And many think that's because there is an ancient being that is protecting this forest specifically. As you can see on this map, I did a huge skeleton thing that is there, and I imagine that this being that died long ago is its spirit is still protecting the forge, is what gives it its magic, and it only lets in those who are truly connected with nature and truly value it. Ones that appreciate magic and nature for what it truly is and don't want to change it, that appreciate the natural beauty of it. Those are who are allowed in, and it's usually not those humanoid things. It's usually, like I said, the magical animals that live here. But there are a few people that may be let in to see, and we might travel here if I ever make a comic out of this. I really like it. I'm gonna have fun designing the things that go in there. I think it is a very unique place that I can really have fun playing around with. I just imagine it looking so gorgeous and beautiful and ominous and like magical. I'm very excited for it. This next place I'm going to talk about is honestly my least favorite that I came up with, and very well may change. I put a little island over here and I colored it in orange because I imagined it having like being known for all of its beautifully colored leaves in like fall. It goes orange, red, yellow, all those. But I didn't really have an idea for who would live here or what it would be like. I think the atmosphere would be cool, and that's literally all I had. I ended up so it has the beautiful leaves, and I think it would also maybe have a lot of museums, memorials, be filled with history. It's a big history place and might be popular for school trips to go and learn about it. It has a lot of artifacts that can be useful. And right now, it relies mostly on things like agriculture and farms for its economy. That is what I came up with. That might change. It still needs to be a bit more developed. Everything on here needs to be developed and maybe subject for change in the future. These were just the base ideas I had for this world. So yeah, that's called Harvested. That's really all I had to say on it. If you guys have any more ideas for ways to make this place more interesting, that would be helpful. This next place I was talking about is called Poison Lily. I really like this place. It's an island. Well, technically I think it's 2 islands. I drew it connected with a bridge. So it's a very gorgeous place. It's filled with flowers. It's just beautiful. You want to go there. It has fair weather, gorgeous flowers, forest, little cute bunnies hopping everywhere, other adorable wildlife. But I wouldn't go there because everything there will kill you. That is why it's called Poison Lily. It is absolutely gorgeous, but everything there will kill you. And I just wanted to have, like, killer fantasy rabbits and cute little deers that suddenly have fangs and will attack you and drink your blood. It lures people around it in. There's a lot of ships that dock there because it just has this, like, aura that draws people in. It's gorgeous. It, like, promises food and safety in its vibe, the vibe of the island. And then they're just brutally murdered. So, that is Poison Lily. I would not recommend journeying there. The island can put you in, like, sort of a trance in a way that you won't want to leave, and you'll start to trust everything, like the adorable little critters. Even if you have been warned beforehand that they are dangerous, it almost makes you forget. It lulls you into a false sense of safety, and then kills you. Viciously. I think, like, everything here just drinks blood. Also, strange thing, I don't think anything here could die. Anything native to the island, I don't think it would be able to die. That's something I'm kind of coming up with on the spot. But the vibe that it's giving with its weird properties and its, like, supernatural way of doing things, I don't think any of the flowers or native species there would be able to die. I think it would be the same things that have been there for centuries, even if they still look like adorable babies. And I think I like that. It's kind of never changing. And you're never leaving because you'll be dead. This last place we are discussing are the Driftlands. And they are basically a series of islands that all are covered in large savannas. Very warm tropical atmosphere, but they are islands. Honestly, the only reason I made this is because I wanted an excuse to combine things that would typically be found in, like, a savanna, it's very warm, dry animals like cheetahs, gazelles, whatever is found in a savanna, and combine it with tropical ocean animals, because I can see them traveling from island to island through that. And it's just, I think it's a cool mixture, and I think I could do a lot of neat designs with that. There would be some small, like, tribes and villages that live here. It's a very African kind of vibe over here. I like it. I really was just excited for the designs. I want to do, like, water cheetah or something. That's why I put that. And it's pretty cool. I mean, there are a lot of really unique species that can be found there. It also gives Australia vibes, honestly. I feel like there'd be a lot of big spiders there, like there is in Australia. So yeah, that's basically the whole world that I came up with. Obviously, there will be smaller cities and towns that need to be developed within each of these regions. These are the broad things that I came up with. And I feel like a lot can be included into this. Like I said, basically any character in this world, any fantasy creature can be somewhere in this. I think I made it very open. And I really like how this map turned out, actually. Once I started doing the bright colors and making it look interesting, I really liked how it turned out. So, yeah. Anybody that does want to make, like, their own OC in this world is welcome to. I mean, I'm a very, very, very small YouTuber right now, so I don't expect many people to want to make their own OCs for this world, but if you want to, you have full permission, and I don't really have anything that's off limits. You can also feel free to develop your own towns or whatever that fit within this world, if that's something you'd be interested in. But for right now, this is what I came up with, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye, guys!